Okay, here's a question. What do parents owe their adult children? You want to get into that? Let's go. As the parenting relationship shifts into adulthood, this question becomes very relevant and it takes on a little different meaning. As we get clear about that, we can develop more healthy relationships with our adult children. As we discuss this, listen carefully for an important mindset shift that can potentially change the game with how you interact with your adult children. Okay, let's start with a little bit of context here, because our children are the only other humans on the planet that we ever share control with. Now, there may be some other exceptions to that, but you think about other humans on the planet. You don't control them. Your children, you do control for a while, temporarily, when they're younger. Are you tracking all of that? And then eventually they grow up to be adults in their own right, and we don't control their life anymore. But we hope that we still have a relationship with them, an interaction, a way to continue to enjoy our association with them. And there are some complicated factors that come in. So this owing idea or entitlement gets in the way. I work with a number of high wealth families where the parents, in this case, have worked or built a business or created value in this world to the extent that they have amassed a bit of wealth. And the children in those families sometimes feel entitled to what their parents have built or earned or grown over the years. This creates expectations. It's these expectations that foster disappointment or resentment if the expectations are not met. Owing versus offering. Let's make that distinction. As a parent, you're in a position to offer anything that you choose. You don't owe them anything. Now, I'll offer a little disclaimer here, because I do a lot of parent coaching, and the coaching that I'm doing currently is shifting along with my own phase of life because all of my children are grown. And so you'll hear me here on the channel, for example, talking a lot more about parenting adult kids. And I do believe that we owe our children something, and especially our minor children. In fact, there are 5 freebies. Shall we go over them? The freebies are love, which is unconditional. I think we owe that to our kids. Our job as parents is to love them no matter what and even if. You got it? Okay, and then the other 4 are air. Now, you don't give your kids air, but you have no business depriving them of it. All right, that's illegal in most jurisdictions. So air is a freebie. You with me? Water, food, and shelter. Those are the freebies. Your kids don't have to earn them. They get them by virtue of being your children until they reach the age of majority or adulthood, at which point they are responsible for providing for themselves. What are we going to do with that list when our kids become adults? Well, love is still a freebie, okay? I think even when your kids are adults, your job is still to love them, no matter what and even if. The air, water, food, and shelter now is up to them. Now, you're not going to actively deprive them of any of those things, but they are responsible for providing for themselves once they become adults. The obvious exceptions would be if there were some kind of pervasive developmental delay, or if there's some special needs that have them not fully functioning as adults. But for most of us, once our kids are adults, they're responsible for providing all of that. You owe them nothing. Now, that's in the context of having said, let's continue to love them no matter what, and even if. And you might choose to offer. So let's make the distinction between owing and offering. And even that will create a little different energy in your mind. Let's flip this just a little bit as we get into the next topic, which is to honor their autonomy. The short version of this, they don't owe you anything. And this comes as a shock or a surprise. You're welcome to fire me at will. I tell all my clients this as well. You can fire me at will. I won't always say what you want to hear, but I will say what I believe to be true. And that is that your children don't owe you anything. Yes, but I provided for them all these years and all those great things that Yeah, I know. And I'm not disagreeing with that. You have been benevolent and generous and loving all these years. So what do your kids owe you? You might think, well, they owe me respect. No, they don't. You would like to have respect, and I would invite you to be respectful and to model that. And I think kids probably should respect their parents once they become adults, but they don't owe you anything. This is an important concept to get into our heads as parents because of the way it changes the energy of the interaction. If you think your kids owe you something, then you will show up with entitlement. We already know how annoying entitlement can be if your kids think that they're entitled to something that you are free to offer or not offer. In the same way, your kids are going to feel the same kind of resentment if you show up in a way that you're entitled to something that they are free to offer or not offer as they choose. Once our kids become adults, we get to let go of the expectation that they should be doing whatever and simply become observers of another fellow human being who is choosing to lead their life in whatever way they see fit. Trust in who you raised and make it clear that this relationship is grounded in respect and not control. When our children are younger, we have to control certain elements of their life because they're not mature enough or responsible enough to do that yet. This has changed once our kids become adults. Our acceptance of that allows us to move away from the control and into curiosity. Invest in connection, not correction. This doesn't come naturally to a lot of us as parents because we think our job is to make sure that and then we jump on and correct and criticize to the point that they don't even want to have a relationship with us. Your role has changed from manager to mentor. But even that is by permission only. Make an intentional shift from control to curiosity. Ask more questions. Get really good at listening. Show interest in who they are now and not just who they were in the past. You have an amazing opportunity to get to know another adult on this planet. And they have some similarities and some carryovers from a child who lived in your home, an adolescent or a teenager that you once knew. But I think it's a mistake to freeze someone in one of those earlier phases of life and miss out on who they are right now. The relationships we can form with our adult children can be some of the most rewarding and sustainable relationships that we'll ever experience. Hopefully these tips will help you to take a look at where you are with your adult child. I've got another video ready for you if you want to go just a little bit deeper. It's about how to be a good parent to your adult child. Let's jump into that next video together. I'll see you over there.